Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another round episode of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomize. This is the League of Season 4, and we're in Week 7, which is co-op mixed with Enemizer, which means the enemies are shuffled around, including bosses. Coming in from Sphere-finity, P-Train and GFE12. Going up against the sexy Ganons. Representing them is Freddy and Faint. And it looks like we got a countdown timer on one side, so we should be going underway in 4 seconds. I'm your commentator today, Ezra Hub, and alongside with me, tracking all the action, Scoopa and Stags. And we're already into there. Sanctuary gives us 10 arrows. And Link's Home give us some bombs, which is going to be very useful. Alongside with this being a co-op Enemizer, that means that we get a new feature. We get some boots, which allows us to do some things that we normally would require the boots to use to, do, which is like a few more checks, being able to zip around to and from areas. As we get bonk rocks, we get a bow and arrow. That's going to be useful later on down the line. GFE is setting up for Houlihan to get some more rupees. More likely they're looking to do Zora. Meanwhile, Uncle giving us not much to work with yet. And we get some more bombs along the secret passageway. From what I can tell, the opening sequences hasn't been much. We do get Blue Cane though in the Lost Woods, so that's great. That's great to have. Just gotta get some magic for it. As we take a dip into the Thieves' hideout for a piece of heart. So our runners are going back and forth, feeding each other information as we get clippers from the library. That makes doing Houlihan all the more worthwhile, as GFE is just about like 300 rupees short from getting scammed from the big fish today. We do get a lantern in the back of Tavern. Don't leave home without it. As we get from P-Tran, checking on the top part of the Kakariko Village, going into the Spawn Hut. As we see, the chicken hut is not really looking like a chicken hut right now. Bunch of rubies, pieces of heart, nothing really too thrilling there. We do get gloves from the bottle vendor. Meanwhile, in Mini Mordrum, Freddy is pulling up some miscellaneous items, but pulls up the Moon Pearl. That's going to be huge. And Blue Mail and the Kakariko Well. Looks like our runners will not have that much issue dealing with the Dark World thanks to that Blue Mail. I mean, sure, you could be on 4 hearts, but the added defense from the mail makes up for it a lot more than you think. Interestingly enough, Freddy going on the off-beaten path, I think this is a good idea to do. You cover more ground as you separate, but there's sometimes you just gotta follow each other to get all these good items that P-Train and GFE is pulling up right now. But knowing that the bow is in Mini Moldrum is a huge benefit, especially when Fant's gonna go in there and take a look-see to get his Moon Pearl going. Was there anything on the line in this match? Not really, just for more points, I'm assuming. You can always take a look at the league's main website that shows you all the standings, the current records of our teams. This is the last week, so they are looking to probably add one more set of wins under their belt to be able to be in good position to be in the last pairing for the I believe for the tournament. Freddie taking an unfortunate. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. It may most likely be. P-Train is taking into the back part of the escape sequence. Now he's gonna check out Dark Cross in hopes of finding an item crucial in Dark Cross, since they got the key from there. Hopefully it's not a map. I didn't take the time to notice it. And it's just 20 rupees. That's rather unfortunate, but hey, that's a check out the way and free of your mind. We do get a shovel in the dam. So, fetch course anyone? It looks like Fett may be following suit on P-Train's tracks. But yeah, you'll probably see our four runners crisscrossing each other, as well as feeding information of where items are located at, to be able to help each other fill out the run a little bit more smoothly. Small magic from the pull in the tree. That is gonna go and get his Moon Pearl, and we get our second pair of gloves in Agina's I was gonna say Agina's closet, but that's Agina's cave. You might as well call it a closet though, even if it's boarded up. But yeah, that's gonna be huge. That means that we now have our Dark World access, thanks to the fact that we already have a pair of gloves already, thanks to one of the locations earlier that I can't recall right now. So far an escape, not much. Oh, there's our red cane though. That is gonna be a huge benefit, especially if Ice Palace is a necessary evil to go through, or Misery Mire, or Turtle Rock. Yeah, the Brianna cane was in the Lost Woods, the open area where the mushrooms location was at. And we finally gonna see if we get scammed from Zora today. GFE is approaching, thanks to the fact that they got the flippers. Don't think anything was in Waterfall Ferry, unfortunately, but hey, you know what? Those are just some checks along the way. And I do believe that's our first sword of the day. Paying 500 rupees just to get that on the board for us. Looks like Zora's taking blacksmithing up as the hobby today. Not a hobby, but you know, it's a worthwhile endeavor too. Heart on Hyrule Lake Island. Nothing important there. Okay, we do get half magic in the Waterfall Ferry. That's what that was. So now it looks like GFE is gonna go in to get his Samora Cane in the Hyrule Castle. And not too far off from GFE as far as doing the Zora play. Fant is now doing their Zord play. They'll find their sword and feed that information to their partner. So yeah, it now all depends on how long will it take for either our 4 runners to get their golden pair of gloves. And we do get a match up from Freddy. We got an, ooh, wow. These are some placements. Misery Mire being green pendant, Swamp Palace being a red-blue, and our DP being red and blue. Quite a bit to take in. Also, hello, how you doing, everyone that is just now joining us? This is A Link to the Past Randomized League, Season 4. Got some co-op Invitational going on today, as Freddy is our first runner between the 4 to step into the Dark World. Meanwhile, GFE is taking a look at Saw's closet. We get a bombos, we get a bottle with a B, and some more bombs. Bombos may be worth it, but we don't know yet. And it does look like both Freddy and Fant has their gold mitts already in lock, because I just saw Fant pull up the heavier stones. Taking a quick look at King's Tomb, there was not much there to behold, so I'm gonna move on from there. Yeah, it looks like Freddy's scouting up ahead with the Dark World access, taking a look at where things could potentially be. Going into the chess game, Singer Rupee. We do get our magic mirror, and that is going to be in a very convenient location for all of our runners. It's just a matter of time of them approaching the treasure chest game just to get to that mirror. Having mirror is very, very early. Also, I will agree, bombos early in Randomizers is very helpful, especially when you have enemies that are very hard to kill with your fighter sword that you're currently equipped with right now. It definitely helped me out in my previous race when I was dealing with a dark room with all in Palace of Darkness, that's for sure. Eastern Palace, Fant is going in there, gonna follow suit behind GFE. Both of them have a life source, so it won't be that huge of an issue traversing through the dark rooms here. But then again, if you're a very seasoned runner, this is like a walk in the park for you. We do get a bottle, though, from our Staphos room. And we get some arrows in the digging spot. Fantastic. Just what you want when you want to dig up for some treasure, I guess. And our boss for Thieves Town is Mahila. Unfortunately, Freddy, arrows will not work against Mothula. You need a sword for that, or you need hammer, or fire rod if you're ever feeling so inclined to look for that right now, which could be a good idea to do right now. But yeah, Mothula being our first revealed enemy in the Randomizer in the Thieves Town room. Thieves Town dungeon, I mean, not Thieves Town room. Might as well call it a room. It's just a few huge rooms in the area. Meanwhile, P-Train is taking a dip into Skull Woods. They are going to look into the Skull Woods dungeon and see what's up in there. And as those two runners are venturing out in the dark world, we have Fant and GFE going through the nearly I wouldn't say the ending part of it. Well, GFE is about to reach the end of it. We're gonna see which our boss is at in the Eastern Palace. And in fact, not too far off. And we get, this looks like Lamos. I want to say this is Lamos. Yeah, this is Lamos. Yeah, both of our runners is probably gonna not have that much issue dealing with Lamos. So this will be the first boss done in this seed today for this race. P-Train pulling up the hammer. I didn't notice where it was, but most definitely was in the back part of Skull Woods. So more likely than not, GFE is going to follow suit, pick up that hammer as well as the Titan Smiths, and just start boogieing on through the Dark World. Small King in the first chest in the hot prison room, and the map. And another key. So doesn't seem like much is in the front of Skull Woods. It is a crystal from the looks of it, so our runners will have to clear, so that means Fire Rod is definitely needed. Have not been checking out. I mean, have not been paying attention. A lot of back and forth is happening right now. Freddy's now going to get their sword from Zora, as Fant is taking care of their last Lamos, finishing off that fight and getting their first crystal under their belt. So let's see. Cheddar Rock, Ice Palace. So we do need our Ice Rod today. Question is where our Ice Rod is hiding. It could be anywhere though. Just can't say for sure. Nothing is guaranteed in these seeds. P-Train just now picking up their mirror. I'm gonna feed that information on to GFE, who will most likely follow suit after they take a look at King soon, and find that's gonna be absolutely disappointing. So right now our runners are in a sort of a way crisscrossing each other. We got Fant stepping into the Thieves Town dungeon. They do have a sword at the very least, so they're gonna probably follow suit with P-Train and kill Mafia in this fight. The only difference is P-Train has the hammer, so P-Train may opt in and doing all of the Thieves Town dungeon. Meanwhile, Freddy is saving our blacksmith buddy, and he's going to get awarded 20 rupees for his efforts. Not something that you want to really see, really. But I mean, I guess money is appreciative, but not now, where we need some progression going. And P-Train pulling out the hammer. It's time to whack a moth. And down goes Mafia. Has to be a Karthus experience if you could just get Mafia in a room where there is no moving panels whatsoever and spikes everywhere. It really exposes Mafia being a complete total fraud. Meanwhile, Fant, only having a sword to their name, is just taking some good clean swings at Mothula, and down that goes. Fant taking out their Mothula fight, putting 2 crystals on the board for him and their team. Meanwhile, Freddy is going on the off-beaten path, having a chat with Stumpy, getting 20 rupees, and he's gonna leave the chest behind to do a fun little trick where you don't need to meet the purple chest when you're in the dark world. Just as long as you get to the light world, right where you're at the blacksmith. Takes a bit of knowledge to do that and get that done. Saves you a lot of time not having to haul that chest around, and then get 20 more rupees. I'm starting to see a trend here. Dating game being only 300 rupees. And it looks like Freddy is going to probably go to Hype Cave. Have we been to Hype Cave yet? I don't think we have been to Hype Cave. I think this is our first time going in to check Hype Cave. Get 20 rupees, a whole heart, ether, and some more money. I guess it's okay if ether is one of the needed medallions that we need to enter in Turtle Rock, perhaps. But since we know where Bombos is at and most likely could acquire it, especially if you don't have a hammer, it may be the most useless Hype Cave I've ever seen. And I do like this play from Freddy. They're going to go right ahead and check out Swamp Palace. They do have flippers, but they need the hammer though. Yeah, Freddy, you need the hammer before you do this kind of a play. Just unless this is just a dip, just to see what's in the first few chests. You're not gonna get far, but you know, I guess since you're here, the single chest here could be worth the effort, but I really don't think so. Fans, checking out Magic Bat. What does Magic Bat give us? Some more bombs. You know, nothing important. And Freddy gets a full heart for his efforts of dipping into Swamp Palace early. He's probably not too thrilled about that. I would be. I would not be thrilled at all. Speaking of Bombos usage, this is one of the many uses you will use Bombos for, going into Ice Palace and just checking it out. In fact, you should be able to clear this. You do have hammer. And some arcane. And yeah, Ice Palace is probably one of the worst dungeons to do for an enemymizer. But yeah, with some arcane, they can do door extension glitch, which should allow. Oh my god! Yeah, burn that up. Set that place on fire. We're gonna see an extensive use of Bombos today. Because that room was a definite no. We're not dealing with that. Things are getting a little heated in this area. And I wouldn't put it past them, and they start using the bomb battalion. Where was Bombos Medallion? Because I thought it was in was it in Escape front sequence? I'm not sure. But we do get some literacy. We do get literacy in our ice dive in Ice Palace, which is pretty great. Oh, it was a Saha. Okay. That would make much more sense. But yeah, some literacy on the side from Ice Palace means that we get to check out the tablets once we get a Master Sword, but more importantly, we got our entry to Eastern, and theoretically we can clear that if we really need to. Meanwhile, P-Train is taking Kiki out on a walk to get to the Palace of Darkness. And Freddy is going to do a Dark Cross in the escape sequence to see what's in the Dark Cross room. They're going to be very disappointed when they find out there's going to be absolutely nothing. While Fant is taking a traverse into Tower of Hera, being the first runner of the four, take a peek and hopefully looking to see if there's anything good in there. And yeah, GFE taking a moment to realize that this is probably one of the worst rooms that they have dealt with so far. But probably nothing that they, can deal with. Just saying. Gonna take another swing with the Bombos medallion because he ain't playing that. The only problem I've seen here is that if this is Cold Stare, then they're gonna. Well, no, they have enough magic to start the fight for Cold Stare, but they ain't got no rod to do any backup, so they're gonna have to really rely on the hammer for their damage. Meanwhile, in Tower of Hera, we do get Fant fighting Helmsor, and they're just using the bomb route. This is probably could have went a lot smoother if they started dipping into the Dark Worlds, but I think it's probably because Freddy was already in there just checking that area out. But they did break open that mask with the bombs, so that's phase one down, and down goes Helmsor. While that was happening, GFE took out Blind, which was in Ice Palace. And both our runners from both teams taking down a boss. Except the only difference is one of them was a crystal, another one was a pendant. We did not take a look at Ped yet. So Ped could still be very well alive with the fact that Ice Rod has not been found yet. There is a lot of items findings in rapid succession so far. So my only assumption that I wonder if the going into pod is the play here, as we do get a coffee break from Fant to see what's going on in the coffee break room, which requires a light source, either a torch or fire rod. Well, lantern or fire rod. Freddy getting to the back part of the Palace of Darkness. He's gonna take a look in the Dark Maze. And there is our Master Sword right there. And we get a small key as well, so that must mean there's some has to be in Dark Cross. Not Dark Cross, but Dark Maze. And then there's might be some item in Helma's hallway. Okay, there was, but not an item that we were desiring. So, yeah, we're gonna move on away from there. P-Train opting to go in the non-fun route of Dark Maze, but that makes a lot of sense. They do have the big key. They're hoping to find all their items, and unfortunately, they picked up the compass. I think there's still like 2 items, including the boss, to get. Thankfully, with it being a crystal, that means that they don't have to really worry about having to deal with this being a pendant. And we get 20 rupees for our efforts. After finishing all the checks there, P-Train decided to go into Eastern, which is probably a not so bad of idea since you already cleared out and mirrored away from most of the Palace of Darkness. No, we have yet to see the boss yet for Palace of Darkness yet, so otherwise I would have heard the music and went like, oh dear. Oh wait, no, wait. Oh geez, I forgot. Compasses now reveal the bosses in this Randomizer setting. So yes, that was Trinex when P-Train went to the map and just noticed that was there. So yeah, our runners are definitely gonna have to start looking up and down and all around for their fire rod and ice rod. You really gotta love how these randomizers do a lot of things for their settings that you just have not been familiar with. Yeah, and Freddy took a look at the map too and noticed that was Trinex. He's like, yeah, we're not gonna deal with that today. So we may be doing Palace of Darkness as our last dungeon if this keeps up. Meanwhile, we get some Quake action coming from P-Train. And Bomble's action from Faint, who is not afraid of using it right now, which is understandable. GFE taking the old man to the Death Mountains cave, his home. And that is where our hammer is at. I didn't notice, was trying to figure out where hammer was at, but I know it was in Skull Woods. And hello everyone from SpeedGaming 5. How are you doing today? If you're just now tuning in, this is A Link to the Past Randomized League, Season 4, Week 7. This is co-op, info share, and Randomizer based in all one. We have 4 runners, Sphere-finity, going up against the sexy Ganons, and they're just... This seed has been kind of been non-stop lately. As we get to our next boss from P-Train, who is just now doing their almost fight. Using the bow and arrows to do some damage. Meanwhile, GFE is going to their Tower of Heracline. They are going to, more likely or not, gonna find a Helm Sword and be very thrilled that they got the hammer to deal with it instead of using it with bombs. But I have to say, bombs is also viable and doesn't take as long to break that Helm Sword's face mask. So yeah, they should be able to clear it. But before taking a look into the Spiral Cave, and now P-Train has pulled up their sets of items in the back of Saha's closet, while Fant has getting their Samurai Hang all set and ready. And GFE is going to be our first runner going into Death Mountain, Dark World, to take a look-see at what's going on over there. Or not, you know, we're just going to fake us out, you know, because they forgot to do Paradise Cave first. Quite confusing, but you know, I kind of understand that feeling of like, oh, I need to go to do Dark World. Oh, wait a minute, I have yet to check Paradox Cave. As we get a red bottle and 10 arrows in the first section of it, which is the top. And now we're going upstairs to the bottom. And we got a lot of guards here. And I don't know, this is a heavily guarded area for it to be 5 chests. Did you get a piece of heart? There's our fire rod, 20 rupees. GFE putting that fire rod to use immediately and gets a red boomerang. So there's our first very, very desired item today. The fire rod will allow us to go into Skull Woods, but not only that, take care of a few other stuff as well. Yeah, the Ice House is a very, very terrible dungeon for randomizers. I have to agree on that. After witnessing that from P-Train, that had to be annoying to deal with. Fant and GFE are doing Super Money Hop Cave in 2 different ways, as we get a heart and 50 rupees from those 2 chests. Nothing super special there, but hopefully we get to take a look at the Hookshot Cave and see what's our first chest there if we do a little bonking. And we get 20 rupees for our efforts of bonking. Thanks, Seed, I hate it. Oh, here we go. Fant pulling out the hovering strats and successfully making their way to the other side here to get 10 more arrows, 300 rupees, and they're gonna make their way to the other end, and oh, they fail. Which is rather unfortunate. Thankfully, they got the hard part out the way, doing back-to-back hovering to clear out 3 chests. Second try on the hovering failed, so they just decided, nah, it's not that worth it. If it has to be hookshot locked, let it be hookshot locked for now, as they're gonna check out the rest of Death Mountain. Meanwhile, GFE didn't take a moment to look at the entry, but it was Ether, so that Ether medallion making High K feeling pretty hype right now. It was a delayed High K for sure. And thanks to the fact that they got the fire rod in Paradox, they're gonna start diving deep into this dungeon, more likely clearing it since they got all the necessary materials to clear it, unless Trinex is in this dungeon as well, which I really hope not. You know, that would be really rude for this seed to do. Just saying. Can't tell if my allergies are acting up because of the seed being bad, but this seed hasn't been that bad yet. I would have known. I'm gonna start having a sneezing fit right now. We do get our big key and small key, as P-Train are going head to head against the heads to head against the blind boss in Ice Cave. Freddy doing a successful door extension glitch, as Fant has pulled up their fire rod. I'm pretty sure they're gonna tell Freddy to do the same once they finish this dungeon. As P-Train, speaking of finishing this dungeon, P-Train finishes up their ice dungeon and gets their crystal. I do believe that's crystal number 3 under their belt. But yeah, we're 30 minutes in, and both of our runners are doing all 4 of our runners are doing excellent work piecing together this dungeon, as well as getting all the necessary evils out the way early in the game. The last necessary evil being the ice rod, which I'm pretty sure is gonna hide its ugly head until like at the very last minute of the seed. Let me take a look at this lava chest. And what does our lava chest contain? The ice rod! Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very disgusting placement for the ice rod. But you know what? Randomizer is gonna randomize. Nothing is guaranteed. I mean, the good news is we get our ice rod out the way. Bad news is, I wonder how long it'll take Freddy and Fant to get to there. Actually, it doesn't look like it's going to be long, as Fant is going to be stepping into the Dark World. You're going to realize that ether is needed for Totorock entry, and they're going to step into there, check that place out, pull up their ice rod, and I do believe our runners are going to be soon to be in go mode. The only thing that is missing in the equation is the hook shot, which, given the nature of this seed, it could potentially be in Pedestal. None of the pendant dungeons that are available right now, none of those need the hook shot. Or it could be Left Side Swamp. Left Side Swamp, big chests in any of these dungeons, but yeah, this is going to take a bit to see if we can find it, if it gets this way. And realizing that they don't have the hook shot, Fant just quickly on the realization of that, did some quick maneuvers on their Samora pad to get around to this part of the go do the long way around to get those torches lit up so they can get off of it immediately. Good work on there. As we are coming to the last section of the Totorock from GFE, who is stepping out of this Samora pad maze to go into the last part. Making a mad dash. That is a spike ball. What are you doing there, sir? Could you just not? We do get a small key, so there's our key entry, but we gotta look for that hook shot. There's our compass. Our boss in this dungeon is Argus, which requires the hook shot. That's not a good sign at all to see. That's actually even worse. Oh yeah, speaking of a hook shot, it's right here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 42 minutes in, the seed of this wild ride. GFE is in go mode, and most likely he's going to be telling P-Train to go follow suit to get his stuff in order, which P-Train is most likely is. Yeah, P-Train does have Master Sword. GFE does not have Master Sword. But more likely than not, P-Train told him where that Master Sword is at. This can be cleaned up pretty well. Between both runners, they're in go mode. Of the team, at least. Meanwhile, Freddy is taking a look at Desert Palace to dive in. He's gonna soon get the news from Fant that you need to start working to making your way towards to Totorock right now. This has your go mode items. But yeah, this scene is kind of, this scene in a way is kind of wicked because it doesn't really, I guess it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't in a way tell you that you should be doing all these other things. But yeah. Speaking of swords, we do get a tempered sword in Desert Palace. from Freddy. So that's our next sword that we're going to have in our toe, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Pretty sure GFE and P-Train is not gonna do the same thing. They're not gonna look for another sword. Probably the only reason why they'll do it is probably because of Ganon Tower. That's it. It's also worth mentioning that they do not have silver, so this will be masterless silvers if they don't find another bow upgrade along the way. Which, again, I'm pretty sure all 4 of our runners are used to dealing with situations like that. And Freddy saving and quitting right there. I wonder if that's but they're at Sanctuary though. Where they heading off to? Oh wait, no, they haven't done they haven't entered in Death Mountain at all, so they're gonna go ahead and do that. There goes our bug net. Coming from P-Train. But I'm pretty sure Fant has pulled up that as well. And Fant is gonna soon realize that's gonna be Argus. He's gonna start swearing a little bit, but then when he pulls up this last shot, he's gonna start laughing. Because that's where the hook shot is at. Amazing work on the item dash from P-Train. As GFE is doing their Palace of Darkness climb. And from the Ether tablet, we do get a whole heart. Something that I'm pretty sure Freddy wasn't too enthusiastic about getting, but you know. Both Fed and P-Train doing the spin strats for Argus. Seemed like Fant was able to both of our runners getting it done just in time. Now it's just a matter of hurling fire rod shots at the Argus, and down he go. P-Train and Fant finishing up their Turtle Rock dungeon climb. Meanwhile, Freddy is not too far off, most likely going to join them. Well, go into the rock as they leave out. And GFE is doing the last and final part of Palace of Darkness. Which boss was this again in Palace of Darkness? I don't remember. That's one useful thing about the hook shot. You can kill these things that are hiding instantly without having to wait for them to appear. You just have to make sure it's aligned right. At the very least, land on top of it. Nice knowledge of GFE that used there to handle that room, because I'm pretty sure if you wasn't expecting to deal with those in that room, you'll be waiting for quite a while. Oh, this is Trinex. Yeah, Podless Trinex. Duh. This is the one main reason why P-Train left immediately after this. After they finished checking all the chests here. That makes a lot of sense. Duh. But yeah, GFE being the one of the first runners to start engaging Trinex now that they got both rods. Chat feeling a little gremlin today with the predictions of hoping that Trinex is in the ice room for GT. Ice Armor's room for GT. It's rather mean. Please don't do that to our runners. But yep, GFE finishing up their Trinex fight. Unfortunately, unless there's one in the Skullwoods, which we have yet to see which boss is that, I highly doubt it. We just saw Helmsorn and the Helmsorn Tower of Hera. So I don't think there will be any Helmsorn copters today, unfortunately. While our runners are going back and forth in this dungeon, do give our runners a follow on their respective channels for giving us this fantastic look at how a lot of these seeds are and how to expertly do them. Give a follow to our fellow trackers, Scoopla and Stacks, for keeping track of all the action, hitting the buttons behind the scenes, making this, at the very least, helping me out in keeping up with all this action. And give a follow to our restreamer today for blessing us with the opportunity to watch this in full fold. That would be Fear Agent, if I'm not mistaken. That means we're Fear Agent, one of the two. But yeah, we do get Vidi and Palace, the Swamp Palace, and we're gonna see a little bit of dash action today from P-Train. Cleaning up this boss fight. Easy does it. Just dump arrows into it, and down it goes. And there is our last sword upgrade. Sphere-finity getting bailed out there. We're not going to be seeing a Master Sword Spin Fest today. The fun fact is, Freddy's gonna get a golden sword off of this because they went into Desert Palace and found our third sword upgrade there. GFE taking a different approach to the Vidi boss fight. Nice use of the spins. Making quick work of the eyeballs. And they're gonna dump some arrows onto him, call it a day. Vent stepping into their Trinex fight. Going to hopefully get that done pretty quickly. From the looks of it, though, they're gonna be just fine dealing with it. Just need to do a few good whacks on the ice head, and down it goes. And down goes Trinex for Fant. Doing a good job of dealing with the Trinex fight there. Meanwhile, P-Train not too far off from it. Going into the Trinex fight. Armed to the teeth, no less. This should be a quick process. A very quick process. Very quick process. Freddy dipping into the Swamp Palace for the second time. They decided to dip in here very early to see what the first chest contained, but didn't yield anything desirable, unfortunately for him. So they're gonna well, thankfully they got all the items needed to go into go mode. So they're just gonna go and you know, get to the boss as soon as possible from this point on. I don't think any of our runners are going to be doing out of the way checks. If they come across a treasure chest in front of them, they will probably not say no to it. That is for sure. Meanwhile, P-Train is going into the Dark World. GFE is in the Dark World. They have their sights set on Skull Woods, which I do believe is our last boss, crystal boss, to deal with before going into Ganons Tower. Although our Fant is dealing with the atrocities that is the Ice Palace dungeon on the Randomizer. This is why we start abusing the Bombos medallion. I do not blame him for doing it. Cleans up this room rather hard. Scrubbing away all those enemies off the crystal clear icy floor. They do have to be careful though. And up, there we go. They are very fortunate to get that magic powder very early, because I feel like not having it now would lead to a lot of the deaths. But our runners are very experienced. They wouldn't die. They wouldn't die unintentionally. As we get a very quick and successful door extension glitch from Vance, all the while Freddy is going into Swamp Palace dungeon boss. I do believe that is the Vidi. Temper sword damage time spins. Let's do something. Let's do this. Spin around on them eyeballs, making them get a little confused, make them wondering why they're staring at a spinning peak creature. Now the big eyeball's coming out to play. Dump some arrows on it, call it the day. Meanwhile, we get a vanilla Mothula fight in Skull Woods. It's the revenge of Mothula time. And unfortunately for Mothula R, our Sphere-finity crew is packed and armed to the teeth, making short work of Mothula and getting the final crystal for the seed. Yeah, that is correct. They are going to go straight into Ganon's tower, and they're going to just make a beeline and swing right into looking for that big key. It's time to guess what the big key is at. I would like to think is in key, well, treasure chest number 7 today. I feel like number 7. 7 is a very lucky number. Let's figure get so far ahead. I would like to believe it's because they routed in finding the hammer very early. Hammer and Titan's Mints. Titan's Mints, well, the second upgrade, the gloves upgrade, was in Argus Cave, and I believe GFE found that first, very early. And Hammer was in Skull Woods, if I'm not mistaken, and P-Tray found that early when they were diving into the Dark World for the first time. While I was explaining all of that, Fent finished up their ice dungeon in spectacular fashion. All the while, Freddy is doing their Palace of Darkness dive. But yeah, at this point, it looks like it is Sphere-finity's seed to lose if they do a lot of errors in their run. Especially now that they have their sights all cleared up and ready for the big tower in the sky with their 7 crystals in hand. And GFE will be the first runners who step into Ganon's tower. Not too far off, P-Train is doing the same. Both teammates are. At this point, they're having a friendly little jump with one another as they go into Ganon's tower. If Ganon Tower does not have silvers, we may be seeing a Tempered Sword Spin Fest, which in this case is better than Master Sword, that's for sure. As bettings are closed, with both of our runners are taking separate routes. That's treasure chest number 1. There's our flute number 2. That's a disgusting placement. Why are you like this seed? 3 was a torch, which I'm pretty sure was nothing. 5 is the cake. Well, 4 is the cake. 5 is the boomerang. That's a small key. And that is 10 more arrows. Man, my head is spinning. We are seeing chests opening up left and right from the left and right locations of Ganon's Tower. It's just a matter of time of seeing where is what and what is where. Alright, so right side did not have the big key at all. That means left side is where it's at. And I have lost count of where this key location is at. Only a set of bombs. You have to keep looking a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. Just a little bit deeper. We're getting to the rando room on GFE side. And what do we get in here? We get a piece of heart, a mushroom, 20 rupees, and 10 more arrows. Our research continues for this big key, ladies and gentlemen. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have Bob's chest. We have Ice Armos to deal with. So that's 4. And then Tire Room. So yes, I do believe that will be number 18 is the next one. Meanwhile, Fant is doing their Vidi fight, doing some spins, and Freddy is going into Skull Woods to do their fight with Mothula. Okay, who called for Trinex being in Ice Arm Rolls? Who did this? Who the one that called this? Who called this? I would like to file a complaint. Thankfully, GFE gets one of the heads out the way. Still doesn't make up for the fact that it's Ice Room Armos. I mean, Ice Room Armos, Ice Room Trinex. Ugh. Oh Lord, what in the world is this room? As we get they don't. I don't think they're out of are they? Yeah, they are. Oh, they're out of magic. Meanwhile, Freddy killing off Mafia with the butter sword, putting butter on that moth and making sure it's nice and ready to be toasted. But yeah, that's rather unfortunate for GFE to not have any magic going into that dungeon, going into that fight. P-Train, fortunately, despite dying, had a fairy in the pocket. So they're looking to finish the fight that GFE has started. And most likely they will successfully thanks to the fact they do have like 2 red potions. And a big old red sword. This is a horrible fight, by the way. This is not fun. Eating, drinking, chugging both potions now. I don't blame you. Trinex in this room is definitely not great. And GFE doing the smart play and hoping that the big key was in entire room. It was not. We do get our silvers right alongside with our big key. What in the world is this seed? What is this seed and why is it like this? GFE does have a full set of magic, and hopefully they will be able to get through and go into the Trinex fight. I think they went into the door a little too soon there. You do have Rad Boomerang, GFE. You could use it to save up your magic for the Trinex fight. Thankfully, there's a small pot there. Meanwhile, Fent doing their Mafia fight, finishing it up in spectacular fashion. The sexy Ganons is slowly but surely catching up to them, but unfortunately, I believe Fent is still one more dungeon away from entering Ganon's Tower. An excellent hop off the panel from GFE. Yeah, this is looking to be, this race is haywire. Just things of the unexpected has unexpectedly happened, and now we're at the crux of why is the seed like this, and what did the seed do? What did we do to deserve this kind of a seed? Did Fant finish Swamp Palace? I think they did. Looks like it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been doing this climb because they already finished. They already finished Turtle Rock. Yeah, that's no big deal, no problem. But yeah, like not too far. Looks like the lead is slowly decreasing with how this seed's enemy placement is, and depending on what happens with the sexy Ganons in this particular boss fight, we may see them catch up in some sort of way. It is just a matter of, are they able to do the try next fight a lot cleaner? Because that's what it boils down to right now. Freddy going on the right side, but we know that it's not the right way to do it. As we know, it's Trinex that has the big key. P-Train using extensive use of the hook shot. Hey, our stun prize was bombs. I thought it. And it does look like Freddy is deciding to just go ahead and do full right, and it will bring them into the Trinex fight. And they're going to be in a shocking surprise when they realize what they're going to have to go up against. GFE finishing off the Trinex fight as Freddy is going up to their Trinex fight. This is a very interesting turn of events now, because now what would appear to be Sphere-finity's made like clear lead and win all changed to the fact that Trinex is in this particular room, being very disgusting. I wouldn't say Viddy wouldn't be a shocking surprise, but yeah, I understand what you mean by that. Freddy with the buttered sword finishes Trinex with complete ease. They're gonna go ahead and get their silvers, and then they're gonna go ahead and get their big key. They're gonna tell their friend Fant to do the same. Looks like Fant is trying to get a fairy from the... There we go. Got to get a refill of hearts. Meanwhile, P-Train is finishing up their climb on the Ganons Tower. Gonna fight their Trinex... Well, not Trinex. They're gonna fight their Agatu. Time for some trigonometry. Get a double hit from here. Ends up not getting the hit off of the Aga from there. Only a single hit. This seed is full of surprises, but more importantly, this is probably an annoying fight to deal with right now, especially after coming off the hitches of the Trinex. Oh, just a miss too. And down goes Aga 2. P-Train is going to be our first runner to clear out Ganon's Tower. And they are going to fight Ganon. Not too far from there is GFE finishing up their Cold Stare fight. Gonna head up to the second part of the fight, second part of the gauntlet. Meanwhile, Fant is doing their Trinex fight in the ice room, while Freddy is making their beginning ascension of the gauntlet. P-Train doing some good spins, getting to the second phase, one cycle. Good dashes. As expected from a very, very seasoned runner here, doing one phase each phase. And we now are into the last phase of Ganon. And this looks like to be a double, if not triple. And down goes Ganon for P-Train as he finishes up his seed for this race. Meanwhile, Freddy is slowly working their way up as P-Train finishes with a time of 1 hour and 15 minutes and 51 seconds. Not too far off from there, GFE is finishing up their fight against Viddy, being in Drone 2 room, which is probably not fun if you do not have silvers, but we have silvers, so we don't have to worry about it. While GFE is approaching their Aga 2 fight, Freddy is not too far off in doing their pre-Modrome rooms. As we get Fant from the Sexy Ganons just now beginning their climb of the tower. This has been a very good race, I will say for sure. Like, there was a lot of back and forth, but finding most of those crucial items very early, being that the Titan's Mint as well as the hammer, definitely played in favor for Sphere-finity. As we get GFE taking on Aga 2 on their fight, they're going to go and fight the Big Pig himself. As we are joined by P-Train today. How you doing? GG's out there.
GG's.
So, what do you think was the key ingredient into finishing up this seed as quickly as possible in this seed? Because this seed was playing a lot of shenanigans today.
I mean, there were two things for us. I felt like the seed gave us enough to do to where we never had to really do the same thing. You know, like we had a lot of time to where GFE was doing his own thing, I was doing my own thing, so we were able to scout a lot of stuff for each other. According to race time, I think they may have gotten to the hammer a little later.
Yeah, they ended up getting in the hammer a little bit late. They didn't I think Fant was the one that found the hammer for the Sexy Ganons. But
yeah,
it was like the moment GFE went to Agina's closet, Agina's cave, to find the second pair of gloves. And both of you kind of diverged, but you went into Skull Woods to find the hammer. I feel like that was the big telling point of being able to clear the seed as fast as y'all did, because everything else is kind of flowing together or falling into your reach, like back to back to back. Like, the only thing that was a little bit troll worthy was the hook shot, but thankfully that was your go mode, and it ended up being in one of the dungeons that you was just going to clear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like we ever had like a really bad decision to make. I actually didn't realize when I was heading down the South Shore that GFE didn't do like Mini Moldorm in the dam. So when I asked him, he's like, "Oh no, I haven't done Mini Moldorm or the dam." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. That's a real nice route for me. Just do Mini Moldorm, find my Moon Pearl, then do dam, and then Agina I get the mitts." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's Dark World access." So GFE had to go back later to get the mitts, but By the time he did that, I had already found the hammer. So I was like, we really, the only decision that felt kind of awkward to make at the time was leaving the item in Thieves. That was the only thing we're like, take it or leave it. But we just thought we had so much to do. The back at Thieves just felt like such a bad call at the time.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we are joined by GFE as the sexy Ganons are going through their final phases of the Ganons. Well, Fant is going through the final phase of the tower. Freddy is just now finishing up their Ganon fight. They're in the last phase. They're just putting silver arrows into the Ganon as the last one sunks in to do the kill. Oh, yeah, by the way, GFE's time when he finished was 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 55 seconds. And Freddy's time for finishing this seed up is 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 29 seconds. All that is left is Fan to finish up his climb of the GT and finishing up this seed. But yeah, this is I would say like y'all really did a fantastic job of just getting those crucial items out the way, and then everything else kind of just opened up the rest of you. It became like a pseudo jet seed with the way y'all was finding items.
Yeah, to be honest, everything felt really nice. The only thing I felt bad about, and I didn't think it was bad play, but when I went, I was gonna grab Mirror and then grab my hammer so I could check Graveyard Ledge off, and I almost chose to go up the mountain end, but instead I knew ice was open, so I just went ahead and checked Catfish off and mirrored ice, which I didn't feel like it was a bad play. But then mountain ended up being the answer for basically everything else. Though to be honest, now that I think about it, if I'd done that, I don't know that I'm gonna have Ether, because I hadn't.
Yeah, Ether was needed because Hype K.
So that, I guess that did end up being a big play there.
Yeah, it was just a really nice seed. Again, like we never really had any bad decision to make. The seed kind of routed itself. Probably our most inefficient segment of time would have been like I was fine doing like the hype cave stretch into pod, but GFE I think made a play for Graveyard Ledge and Catfish that if you're thinking like checks per minute, like it's probably a really slow play, but we just how well the early game went for us. I was like, there's no way we're behind, like we're finding stuff pretty easily here. So
plus y'all was covering 2 different areas, then thus covering more ground than y'all normally would if y'all was following suit between one another. So plus I think Zora had like your first sword as well, so
yeah,
y'all needed that out the way anyway. So
that was a tense Zora's domain, I will say. I was prepared to use my Burna, but it was pretty scary.
Same, I had like 1 heart.
But I will counter P-Train's statement of our most inefficient section. That would be trying to get the GT Vicky.
Yeah, someone
shout out. Yeah, I have to apologize to Julo Ninja and Orange for wishing Fighter Sword Hammer Ice Trinex on them earlier this week, and then it actually happened. But I mean, to be honest, the fight with Tempered, it's not that bad. But the only issue is like those heads don't stop moving, and the Ice Rod hitbox is complete garbage. So I wasted so much magic, and then the Ice Head just wouldn't be still.
Yeah, it was really, really hard to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty tense when I actually did get it, because I knew I only had 1 Fire Rod shot that last time, and I knew I had to be like 1 hit away on the Ice Head, so I would have been super tilted if I had failed it a second time.
Yeah. And Fent has finished up their Ganon fight for the rest of this race. Get your GGs out, by the way, for Fent as he crosses the finish line with 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 14 seconds.
GG's.
That is definitely This is definitely one of the. Yeah, it really felt like if you didn't find the Titan's Mints and the hammer sooner in this seed, because it took a while for Freddy and Fant to get to those two items. It felt like that was what split the lead between the two teams up. As we are joined here by Fant and Freddy, GG's out there. Fantastic work finishing up this seed.
Hello, hello. Yeah, if only,
Thank you.
if only my
Jeez.
teammate Freddy took my advice on Skullwoods.
I did the first chest of skulls. It was an item.
GG.
How was I supposed to know that there'd be a hammer on the chest?
I mean,
I'm just giving
did
Freddy
you
a
have
hard
Kane?
time. It's fine.
Did you have Kane at that point?
No, I didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
Kane until way later.
Yeah, CP Train had it in easy mode, so.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I had a sword, I had the
I've
cane.
done it. Yeah, I didn't even have a sword. Like I had a bow and a blue nail and like 4 hearts or maybe 5 hearts. Like
Yeah, I don't
I
blame
didn't
you
really
for picking out on
want
that.
to do it. I'm like, and then I got the first. Like, if I wouldn't have gotten an item, I probably would have at least given it a try. But like getting one item, not having a fire rod or a way to get to the back, knowing it's a Christus will have to come back later, like there's just so many reasons to not
Yeah,
continue
Yeah, I
it
can
that
see
way.
that.
definitely.
Because that was my first check as well, getting into Dark World. So I felt our Light World went really well, outside of that getting bodied by a the lion thing, Lionel, on the
Oh,
way to
yeah.
Hobo.
Oh, Eastern area?
No, Hobo.
Not the
Hobo.
Eastern area,
Oh,
on the way to Hobo.
yeah,
I did.
that
I did
Hobo
really
dude was
early
intense.
ice. Yeah, I did really early Ice Rod Cave to running to Hobo. Didn't have the money for Zora, annoyingly, so of course.
Yeah, I managed to
But-
like get through with a D boost away from the Lionel to just like squeak by.
Oh wow.
But that was spooky.
I hadn't even thought about it, but see, I started off with a hula hand because that's kind of our traditional start, and that really paid out because I was the one who did Zora. Like I routed South Cac up to Lost Woods, and then I was gonna just go ahead, grab my bow, and then hop in the whirlpool and do Ice Rod Cave. And so I went from there to Zora, and because of the hula hand, I already had 500.
Oh yeah, because it was 300 in Mini Moldom too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I got it out of Blind Set. I went in there just for that.
Oh, you already did Blindside. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually went to the back of Escape to grab 300 rupees for because he had already done like I did Uncle to South Shore basically, or no,
Yeah.
Uncle.
I
to
found
Bo-
all the
Uncle to
money in our
Bo.
seed.
Yeah, Pete Train was rich.
Yeah, Peach.
Yeah, I found the Blinds Hut. I did Back of Escape first. I also got
Yeah,
the money
but I was in your
Beachtown.
exact
Big
position.
game.
Yeah. Getting all the money.
I did Thieves Town, so I got the 300 from that, but
I
Which is
was
good.
kind of politely checking up on GFE like throughout. I was like, "Hey GFE, what's your rupee situation?" He's like,
He-
80 rupees. I was like,
kept
"Remember
telling
that
me-
if you go to Pied."
He kept telling me, go to the back of Escape, grab some there, and I was like, no, I'm good. Because after Zora, even with the hula hand, I had like, I don't know, 80 rupees left. And even when I got Hammer and did North Dark World over to Catfish and Ice, I still only had like 80 rupees, so...
yeah,
Ah.
early.
So how do y'all feel about that GT climb? Or at the very least, looking for the GT.
I feel fine about the climb.
I was gonna say,
The climb's
Ice
great.
Next was the hard part for sure.
Ice Trinex was awful. I went left side because we were in there with me and Freddy at the same time. He went full right to Ice Armos, and I went left. And that second room with the hammer pegs with that roller, that was also terrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah,
But outside of those two, it was fine, I feel.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, easy. You just have butter sword. Don't even have to go past the roller. It's fine. It's easy. Like, I don't know. What's your guys' problem?
Butter Sword I think I could have succeeded with Butter Sword instead of what I did, which was miss like, I don't know, 6 Ice Rod shots because I was being aggressive.
I mean, I did the first phase just like a 1-round phase 1, and then completely whiffed and forgot I needed to do phase 2 to get into the door, so tried to dash into the door and immediately got bodied by the Trinex.
You could have tried to bait him off screen and just...
I mean, fair, but I had I was just in a let's kill the guy before I have a chance. Like I had red mail and
Yeah.
a bottle or a red potion and a fairy in a bottle, so I was kind of like,
Yeah,
Yeah, on
trying
a
to
whim.
got our got his revenge by he's like, oh, you kill my ice head before the room is ice. Well, I just had the thing for you. Now the whole room is ice, and not only that, the ice head now has an even more powerful ability. That's just creating lag and destroying all your frames. There's nothing you can do about it.
And never stopping moving. Like, I waited forever for it to just decide to shoot so I could get a shot in, but it wouldn't. It was like insane.
no, it's fine.
Yeah,
On
Trinex
a
is a
whim,
jerk.
I decided to pick up the red potion in Paradox, which actually I thought was like slow to the point of like, P-Train,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, you got enough hearts, you got master, like you're not gonna die. And then yeah, I burned both those potions and a fairy trying to kill Trinex. So.
Oof.
Yeah.
Randomizer be like that sometimes.
His
Yeah,
bug
sure
net
does, sure
and
does.
his
Like that.
paradox potion were his MVPs on the suit.
Oh, there was a
So-
potion in Paradox?
The
No one
bottom
ever
part.
told me about that.
It wasn't necessary for you, Freddy.
I know, it's true. I didn't need it. But,
Yeah,
You already had your red potion, so like, you don't need another one.
yeah, I got the one at Eastern. It's fine. Like,
Yeah,
there
I
was,
also picked up the bug net and Turtle Rock. That played a huge part.
Oh yeah, that's 100% worth it in Randomizer, especially if you get the powder already.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, I'm not gonna mark
Powder
this
bug
down
net.
for you, but if you want it, you're gonna have to remember it yourself.
I was on my way there anyway because he found shot and fire and ice rod, so it's like
Yeah. I was.
Yeah,
I
that was our go mode, just going to the Turtle Rock.
same.
Like, after we got Hammer, which we essentially last location. I think the only thing
Oh.
left we had was back of Thieves Town. Yeah, Hammer was last location for us. Then
Uh,
we just,
whoops.
I went straight up to the mountain, got Fire Rod, then went into Turtle Rock, and was in go mode. So that was
I mean,
essentially it.
to be honest, with the last location hammer, that's a pretty good time.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I was already had done Ice Palace before we even got into Turtle Rock, I think, or maybe we were about through a Turtle Rock at that point. No, because then after Ice Palace, I got the book and decided to do Bombos in the desert, which led to the other sword. We're actually gonna have Fant. Fant was thinking about going to grab that sword real quick, but then I killed Vidi because there's a Vidi. It's like, I'll have a sword for Vidi if we don't find one. And then Vidi dropped the sword. It's like, okay, well, it's not worth it anymore.
So, do you have any closing statements for the scene?
I
I hate Randomizer.
I love Randomizer, not so much Ice Trinex.
I don't like racing Randomizer.
Yeah, I thought this was I enjoyed it. I actually did. I enjoyed this very much.
See,
This
but-
also
yeah.
was a wonderful way to end our season. If you looked at Sphere-finity's record mid-season, we weren't looking too hot there. So to end on such a strong finish, like I'm very happy. It's been a good season.
Yeah, Freddie
Been a
was
good
talking
season.
to us about that when we were like determining what it's going to take to make the playoffs, and he was like, yeah, like Sphere-finity, like they can definitely come back in this because they just had like a rough start, and that's essentially exactly what you guys did, just like almost clutching it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
Before I knew
needed
it
some
was
help
your
from
favorite one.
other teams though that we
Yeah.
didn't quite get.
We needed a
Which
lot
is fine.
from you guys last week, but
Yeah.
Thanks, by the
you-
way.
of course
you
we-
did
I
what
mean,
you needed to do.
We needed to do what we needed to do. That was our last thing to fear, and I think we're actually in third, if I'm reading the tiebreaker rules correctly. So,
So good luck going forward for sure.
So, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they'll be doing the number crunching later on after this.
Yeah, Freddie was musing about. It's like, oh, because the other team we're tied with in points with, we split, so we went 1-on-1 against them earlier on. It's like that's not going to solve the tiebreaker. That like Freddie was saying, oh, but like higher up on different teams, like we took games off that they didn't. So then I don't know. It seems like a complicated thing, but I trust Freddie that you got it right. We're actually in third place.
basically, we split with Did You Check Your Boot? But Did You Check Your Boot swept Big Boots. There's a lot of boots in our division, apparently. And therefore, I think we're in third. Shrug. Anyway. But yeah,
We'll
GG's,
find
guys.
out once we get something from the admins, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up for the night. do give our runners a follow in their respective channels for doing a fantastic job for the seed this day. Give a follow to our trackers who do an amazing work at keeping track of all the action, Scooplet and Stags, as well as a follow to our restreamer today, who blessed us with this opportunity to give us the chance to look at this and have me commentate this and watch all the action unfold today. If you are interested in watching any more speed running of Link to the Past Randomize for this season for the league, do go to the main website for the league and check out the schedule there. There is still a few more races to be had today, tomorrow, and perhaps on Sunday before we do our final tally to see where everyone is placing in and where are we going to do our tournament. But that'll do it for this race today. Thank you all very much for watching. This has been A Link to the Past Randomized League Season 4 on Speed Gaming. I am Esra Hub. Thank you very much for watching.